Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Today we're going to revise the things which we did in the last class as we discussed the glycolysis and the steps of metabolic steps which were involved in the process of glycolysis quite in detail in the last session. So I'm going to just summarize those points here and you can just revise those things with the help of this chart. Now, as you see, the heading is metabolic pathway of glucose or sugar or carbohydrates. So as you all are aware that carbohydrates are, when they enter in our body, they can be stored in our liver in the form of glycogen. And glycogen and glucose are interconverted into each other in our body, and now we're going to see how the glucose is converting into pyruvate and ultimately we are getting ATP. So let's see what are the steps of metabolism for glucose. Now glucose, the first step is is phosphorylation, where glucose is converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, and then this compound is converted into further two entities. The abbreviated form is DHAP. It's a 3-carbon compound. Both are 3-carbon compound, dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So from 6-carbon compound, that is glucose is a hexose sugar, it is converting into 3-carbon compound here also. And these two entities, these two compounds are in isomerization to each other. Like this compound converts into this and this one is converting into this. And what happens to this compound is, it's further, you can see, is the isomeric form of this compound, and it's converting into pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon compound. Similarly for Ga3P, which is a 3-carbon compound, this is also converting into pyruvate. Now pyruvate is converting into acetyl-CoA enzyme or acetyl-CoA which is a which is a 2-carbon compound, and here also pyruvate is converting into acetyl-CoA, that is a 2-carbon compound. Now both these acetyls will enter into a Krebs cycle, or you can say citric acid cycle, and then as a result of that we are getting NADH and FADH2. Here also we are getting NADH and FADH2. Now from here we know that NADH and FADH2 enters into electron transport chain. We all are aware of this electron transport chain. We have learned what happens in ETC quite in detail during our classes, and so you can just recall from there the charts which I have already sent you, and the notes which we have prepared for this ETC. You know what happens in the ETC. There are 4 complexes which are involved here, 5 complexes basically which are involved, and as a result of this electron transport chain we get ATP, and this process is called oxidative phosphorylation. So here if you see, the conversion of glucose to 2-pyruvate is called glycolysis, and the glycogen is converting into glucose, that is called glycogenolysis, and glucose is converting into glycogen, this is called glycogenesis. Okay, so as we discussed before also that during the metabolic pathway of this glucose, initially some ATPs are involved here in this cycle, and in the end we get 4 ATPs. So initially 2 ATPs are consumed in this process, and that ultimately we are getting 4 ATPs as a result of this entire metabolic process. So all in all we are getting 2 ATPs. We are generating 2 ATPs as a result of the metabolism of glucose. So that's all about glycolysis. So this is basically a summary of the things which we did in the previous class. So first you go through those slides, and then you keep this chart also in your mind, so that you must be aware of the metabolic reactions which are taking place in the process of glycolysis. Okay, I hope this glycolysis is quite clear to you guys, and in the next class we're going to discuss in detail about the citric acid cycle, or the Krebs cycle, that what is happening at this part of the reaction. So what happens here we'll discuss in the next session, inshallah. Okay, thank you for now.